It's Polar Painting and Gaming. I'm Kyle with a list reaction critique. This one is being used for a local league. Hold on, before I get to that note, let's pull up the list. And let's change, no, that's not right. I want that size. There we go. That's better. So we have a note, quite a few OD players locally. So I went with Heavy Alloys on the Mechanist. Interesting. All right, well, let's have a look. We have a Polemarch, Blade of Eakides, Inscription of Lighter Alloys. That's very nice. Especially against Old Dominion, that blade could be useful depending on what you're playing against. Old Dominion also have a lot of evasion, so could be useful. We have 6 Phalangites. They got the Dorilates. They got the Sacred Band. It's the standard go-to for the Polemarch, and it's very good. 5 Minotaur Thyreans. Interesting. Okay. We got the Mechanist with the Hephaestian alloys, and that gives you. It turns off Aura of Death, if I remember right. I'm looking at the wrong thing. I just want to make sure I have this correct. Hephaestian alloys, enemy stands in contact, reduce Aura of Death by 2. I mean, it's only 10 points. We'll come back to that. So, we got the Mechanist with that. We got a Talos. We have 5 Clockwork Hoplites. We have an Ipparchos, 5 Companion Cav, and 2 Skorpios. Alright, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's a 10 card list. So the meta goal is generally a minimum of 12 card. You're playing a league, so that's not super important. But the reason why outside of the meta that's important for city-state specifically is for the Polemarch supremacy setup. So ideally, the turn that you set this up, you have more cards than your opponent, which lets you act after everything is gone, right? So theoretically, your Polemarch and your Phalangites, your last 2 cards. Your Polemarch pops lighter alloys, makes them faster, makes them more vulnerable, but that's fine because everything else is acted, right? That hence the having more cards than your opponent. So they've finished activating. Your Polemarch triggers. Phalangites are now vulnerable, but they're fast. Then they blitz into position, and it's fine because nothing else can hurt them because everything's gone because you have more cards than your opponent. And then the following turn, you pop the supremacy, they obliterate something, and so that's why you want more cards than your opponent with Polemarch supremacy. Ideally, you can make it work without. But that is why you would want that for this. Thyreans. So you have a lot of cleave. Well, not a lot. The Thyreans are such a can opener, right? Because they've got the cleave 3 line breaker. So I'm assuming you're running into Praetorian blocks or Theocrators. Or Cataphract. I feel like those are the top 3 regiments in Old Dominion that would have you pushing for high cleave. Phalangites are fantastic against that. Because they shut down shock, they shut down impacts. So they're not really caring about the Cataphractoi. Praetorians could be a nuisance. The idea there being you just kind of let them be, you let them do their thing, and you kill their healer, kill everything else in the army, and then go back for the Praetorian block. But the Thyrean block has me thinking you're running into that. A lot of R of Death. There's a lot of ways that Old Dominion can get R of Death. Reducing it by 2, I don't think that's worth the upgrade. I think, like, not that the upgrade is overcosted, it's that you're taking your one upgrade spot on your Mechanist that could be better served. Let's see, so for 10 points, what else could you get? Resonance Receptors, you're not utilizing a Promethean, so that doesn't matter. It could be good if you were. Talos is great against Old Dominion. Anti-Silent Allied Gears to make your hoplites faster, but do you have the points to spare? You could. You could trade Blade of Eakides for the Spear and trade Hephaestian allies. So now your Clockwork Hoplites are more mobile instead of being resistant to R of Death, which they're not really susceptible to anyway, because they're D3 shield. So you like R of Death is better utilized against lower defense regiments. The high defense regiments generally don't care, so I don't think that's a good upgrade to take. I think there's more efficient things you could use. Let's see here. Ipparchos, the 5 stack of companion. So I think you kind of want to get one more regiment. Like you could trim down the Thyreans. You could trim down. I wouldn't trim down the Clockwork Hoplites necessarily. They're probably one of the last ones I would trim down because they're nice. Trim down the Comp Cav by a stand, and then you get another regiment of Comp Cav. So now you have more to work with. You push more towards that card limit. Yeah, without knowing more specifically what kind of Old Dominion you're running into, that's generally what I'd recommend. Also, you don't have a light regiment. Old Dominion typically run like at least, like I'd say on average, they run 2 light regiments. So they're getting more board presence, and you're going to struggle with a reinforcement curve. Let's see, how many heavies did you have? It's just the one Talos. So 1 heavy's not bad. What do I mean by reinforcement curve? Because I've probably mentioned this before, right? So reinforcement curve being how efficiently you can get things onto the table. If you have just 1 light regiment, you're guaranteed a regiment on turn 1. If you have a light regiment, you're guaranteed 2 regiments on round 2, assuming you have mediums. I've never seen anyone run no mediums, so who knows? Anyway, so assuming you have a light and a medium, you're guaranteed 2 regiments on turn 2. If you don't have any lights, you don't have that guarantee. You could pick your auto and then roll nothing, and now you only have 1 regiment on turn 2, and they've got 2, and then that can avalanche, right? If your rolls stay bad and theirs are good, that's going to hurt you, because they're going to gain control of the table, and you're not. You're going to be on the back foot with that, trying to catch up, and that's really bad against Old Dominion. I mean, it's bad against most things, but Old Dominion, their thing is spooling up slowly. But if you give them the table, then they're 1 step ahead in their plan. Whereas, let's say, Speaker Wadroon, they're going to have table control early. Like you kind of can't deny them that. Whereas you can with Old Dominion. So I think that's going to hurt you not having a light regiment. Dorilates just get a light regiment, get some table presence going earlier. So that's what I'd recommend for this. So hope that was useful. Hope I explained that. If I didn't explain that well or something, hit me in the comments, and I'll try again.